The Double is living rent-free in my head. I love this show so much. I have yet to watch a show that has matched all the feelings that I have towards it. Just the chemistry was overflowing, and I love the two leads so much. I just think it was the perfect drama to get into and binge over the summer. It was just so well done. So I decided to do a special podcast episode today where I recap some of my favorite scenes from The Double. Hi, I'm Monique. I'm the host of Off by Purple Art podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, so much more. The Double just will not let me go. The chokehold, it's too much. But I have to get into some of my favorite scenes. First scene off the bat, the very first interaction that we get of these two together, not counting all the times that Duke-soo was watching Ali from afar, but the very first, very dramatic, Shakespearean, very dark gothic meeting that they first have, with the white veil slowly billowing away, like revealing the bride to Duke-soo, and just the crackling amount of chemistry they're able to pack in from their very first interactions. This scene absolutely lives like rent-free in my head. Absolutely adored it, and I knew that this show was going to take me on one hell of a ride, and it was a fun ride. And I just love how it just sets everything up. It sets up the characters' banter. They be bantering. The banter is bantering with these two just right off the bat. I love their energy and their interaction so much, and it just only continued to get better. So, favorite scene right off the bat. And these are not really in any particular order. The second most favorite scene from The Double, and I think you should all know it because I've talked about it more than once and it's like iconic in this show, is the beautiful rain drunk scene. Ali completely lowering her guard down and being emotional, but actually being really feral in this moment and being just completely incandescent with joy, and just how in disbelief Duke-soo was, but he just slowly starts to let his guard down too, and you can see that exact moment where he's like, oh no, I'm really in trouble. This woman, she's really it for me. I don't know what to do. And all that panic. When I say this is like peak romance, like this is just cinematography at its absolute best. This show is very beautiful. It had a really lush color palette. I really enjoyed the visuals of it all, but there's just something about the way that this scene was filmed. The rain, of course, is like a staple in any romance story, but there's just something really intense. Like the chemistry is like on such a different level, and it's such a lightning in the bottle moment. I don't know how they were able to match these two actors so well. How I know this damn scene is so good is that the actors, several months after filming the entirety of The Double and going back and doing like promotional work for the show and appearing as guests on like a kind of variety show type deals, and they're able to still recreate this scene, and it still sparkles with just lightning intensity, is when I know that they really struck it gold. I can't begin to tell you how many times I played this scene over and over and over again. Let me tell you, that scene in itself could sell the entire franchise to anybody that still hasn't checked out The Double and was curious about it. If you want true magical on-screen chemistry, you want to see the absolute most illuminating, picture perfect, this is what romance should be, can be, and it's just like tantamount of absolute glory. I can't even get out the words just how much I enjoyed this scene so much, and that's how I knew like there's no way I wasn't going to binge the rest of the show. The whole show just on a whole other level. The emotional intensity of it all. It was just chef's kiss, mwah. I can't get over that scene. So good. Also, episode 19, the striptease. Now this scene is set up to be really serious, and they're in this really dank, smelly cave. Rats are running amok. rats as size as your face. It's just overall disgusting. And then tensions are obviously really high because they're trying to do a rescue mission of enslaved men. And there's so many enemies within that cave. And it's such a claustrophobic environment. And they have a very limited amount of time. And somehow, some way, they were still able to sneak in the most tension-filled scene, having Duke Su strip down Bear right in front of Ali. And a lot of times with like the female lead, like the heroine type characters in C dramas, they tend to like shrink away if there's any flash of skin from the male lead. They're like, oh no, and it's like they're super shy and it's like really coy and in an annoying way, whereas Ali just unabashedly is staring him down from like head to toe. And I was like, that's my girl right there. I love this character so much. I just, as an offside tangent, I just love how frank she is. She's very adult. She's been through some stuff. I mean, her ex-husband, for crying out loud, basically buried her alive. So like nothing was going to be really phasing her at this point. But I just love that in their relationship, there's all this teasing and banter, but there was really no like coyness and, you know, just that really weird kind of infantilizing energy given to the female lead. She was a woman through and through, and I just love how just completely no holds bar, she was just staring him down. And it's so funny that in the follow-up episode 20, when they're at the waterfall after the escape, after they just made it out of there alive with their skin intact, and he's still stripped down, and the stare that they give each other is just so good. It's just episode 25, another favorite scene. You look so handsome when you're mad. I'm telling you, the bantering is bantering. She knew how to wrap Duke Su around her little finger. I love that he would pout in scenes when she would come clear with a mission and she needed a favor, and she needed a favor in a time-sensitive manner. And he's like, I just want you to spend time with me. Can't you ever just visit me for me's sake? And everything I love about this scene is not just the chemistry and the banter and how well she can play Duke Su, and he knows he's being played, but he's still loving it anyways, is his sidekick giving the ooh face. I fell out. It's one of the things that the show really does well. It can do over-the-top soap opera drama, it can do beautiful cinematography, incredible OST, but it had a lot of humor, and it definitely knew how to poke fun at itself. And I just love that the Duke Su just eats it all up. And after the fact, he has that really cute, self-satisfied smirk, you know, like, yeah, you know, I got it. I adore that scene so much. And it's very special to me. And I still rewind and watch that so often. I'm telling you, this show has me in a chokehold. I don't know what to tell you. Other special moments as well, I will say the flower in the hair. Again, the bantering, the chemistry, and the fact that, you know, Duke Su was like, oh, hello, pretty lady. The two of them, Ali and Duke Su, they have zero bones about the fact that they make everyone around their vicinity uncomfortable. And it's so funny because I keep bringing up Mrs. Snowstorm or Love, which is another one of my favorite C dramas. But in that show, you know, they definitely would make other people in their general environment uncomfortable with their, you know, sexual tension and chemistry, but would be totally unaware. Whereas in this show, these two are very much aware of how much they make everybody else in their general surroundings so uncomfortable, and they just do not care. They just reveled in the fact that they have this chemistry, that they could tease one another, and it's just not a thing. I enjoy it so much. So much. Another special moment that I want to highlight as well is one that's a little bit more serious in tone, where Ali comes to Duke Su and essentially says, I need a favor, a really big one, and I'm willing to put my life on the line. I'm paraphrasing, but essentially what she says is, you can absolutely take ownership of my life. You need a chess piece, you need a pawn, you need me as bait. I am giving myself to you. And the fact that Duke Su absolutely could not take that. And it shows like a huge shift in their relationship dynamic. And as serious as that moment was, I really liked that it kind of set their relationship off into another level, and we really got to see just how deep and vast the Duke Su's emotions was for Ali, and I really appreciated that well, and I just felt like I had to give special mention to that. Finally, of course, as well, him instructing her with archery. We know through backstory that she already is familiar with bow and arrow, and she very effectively wields it in the final act against her ex-husband. But I'm really sucker for a trope in romances when the male lead uses the excuse of having to teach a skill set to his love interest, his female lead, in order to get closer to her and kind of break that physical barrier, and the female lead or just the romantic love interest in general knows what he's trying to do but allows it anyways, and they both try to keep the illusion up that this is a purely innocuous moment and there's no undercurrent of any romantic energy whatsoever. That's like one of my favorite tropes when it's done well. It's done so many times in so many romances, and yeah, I ate it up. I ate that shit up in this show too. Loved it. Loved it so much. And there's so many more moments. I'm just cataloging the ones that I can think of right off my head because it's very last minute, spur of the moment podcast, because I love the double and I keep thinking about it, and I just had to share a little bit more. So tell me your thoughts below if you're watching this via YouTube. Are you as fanatical about the double as I am? What were some of your favorite moments? I could go on. But I'm going to cap it there. If you're listening to this podcast via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I love you. I appreciate you so much. Until the next podcast.